Hi, it's been a long time since I've updated. So it's pretty much almost the beginning of spring, just at the end of August right now. My apple tree I brought outside, my guinea pigs got in the garden and chomped that, and in here was some buckwheat growing and they chomped through it, so I put a whole new batch of seeds in. My baby carrots are still growing, can't quite see from this angle. These are my flaxseed, so they're growing big and strong. Now the guinea pigs also got in and absolutely devoured. They chopped this all the way down. This was like about 3 days ago. The baby spinach, and they were even eating the marigold, so that was interesting to see. All these marigolds are dying off and producing new seeds, so I've sprinkled them around in all sorts of other garden beds for companion planting, because pretty much they're such a versatile flower. Apparently they put something in the soil that keeps away certain insects, and these are a testament. I've moved this spinach over here. It was the one that was sort of yellow freckled, and when I turned it over it just had too much of the one bug on it, so some sort of ecosystem is not working. But however, I put it near the marigold and it's sort of springing back to life, so I didn't manage the bugs in any way. All I did was relocate it and it solved the problem. Here is my original largest broccoli. So it's not my largest anymore. In here, these are bigger than that one and greener and less bug ridden. So yep, don't really know what's happening. That's a broccoli too. I put it in the wood chips, so broccoli doesn't so much like that. I think broccoli is probably a plant that grows around where chickens scratch and completely tear up the dirt. I actually don't know where these were in nature. It would be interesting to know how things grew in nature before we started growing things the way we grow them. Same thing, broccoli, cos lettuce. So this one loves the wood chips. You can't see in this camera because the sunlight, so let me just, there you go. It's thriving. It's quite big. And my baby watercresses. So I put 2 seeds in that one, that sprouted. The one that was in here died, so really I've only got 1, 2, 3. And I don't know if you can see that 4th one there, but it's a bit touch and go, so I don't know if it'll make it. But that's okay. I wasn't expecting it to grow, considering I planted it when it wasn't meant to be planted. Now these ones, I can't even pronounce that, but though if you can see it, you'll try and read it. Anyway, so it's not growing any differently. Oh no, it is greening up. It is greening up about there. Whoops, can't see. It's concentrating on where my hands are and not the camera. Okay, so it's greening up here. Obviously to the eye it looks differently. These are my chickpeas and they're huge now. They're just thriving, my little chickpea babies. And here this is the cauliflower. Now interesting to see, whoops, this will produce seeds for me. So I'm trying to point to where I can see. These tube things will dry out and become little seed pods, and once you break them up, there's little tiny beads of seeds in there. So we're letting that go to flower. Bees are definitely been to it, so I found that my neighbour's plant there attracts a ton of bees, so that's great. So once they're visited there, they come into my garden and they've been doing some work for me, which is great. My kale still growing. I'd like to find out how this appropriates like seeds or when it seeds and things like that. But kale, definitely a hardy plant. I have picked a few here and there. The guinea pigs ate some of that one as well and it survived. The potatoes, you'll notice I'm missing because I have actually dug up all the potatoes. They were all dying off just like this last one has. And what I've done is I've replanted that one, and I'm just going to let all the little tiny potatoes regrow. They didn't grow very big. I actually composted them. They weren't very big. The biggest I got was like not even half my hand. Like, they were tiny. Definitely not a big yield in growing potatoes in pots, you really do need a larger pot. They prefer to be in the soil. If you grow it directly in the dirt, definitely going to work better. My kumquats growing more, and look, there's even a new little baby growing. I've picked 2 off here already. I actually ate one. They're quite sweet. Don't know if I've actually picked it too early, so I'll still need to learn more about that one. My lavenders come to flower. So beautiful. I'm gonna make my own perfume out of that. Natural deodorants. And marigold and parsley, curly parsley. I picked that several times, still thriving. Oh, and I did forget to talk about my coriander. It's the same thing with the coriander. I have picked it like crazy and it just bounces straight back. Great herb to have in your garden. Must grow. Okay, and my cabbages and that. Now, here's the thing. These cabbages, like, they are starting to get bigger, but they're also getting a bit tapped. These sunflowers aren't growing very big either. I brought these were in that other white little tub that I've taken out when I harvested the potatoes. These were the capsicum 1 and 2. So I've just put them behind this so they're partly shaded and they get some full sun. Put it around grass as well so that the grass will attract the beneficial insects. So just put them sort of companion planted, these bits of grass. I know this looks messy, but if you don't have grass in your garden, you'll find you might need to put some in some old scrap containers like I've done to help give a habitat to some of the insects you don't want living in your garden boxes, if that makes any sense. And here is my bok choy. Like, it's so tall. This is like up to my waist here. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting for these nodulars. They get really big and fat. It's a bit like a pea, so like a really big pea. They're gonna be fatter than the than what the cauliflower will be. I keep going to say broccoli. So yep, waiting for that to go to seed. My original parsley, I have not picked this one. It got down very small. I was picking it like crazy, hence why I bought the other one. And my little strawberries, look, they just seem to be happy. There's less red happening. Before, on previous videos, I said it was getting a bit of this red tinge and they're dying off, but they're greening back up. They're not growing super fast, but hey, we're only just touching spring. Chives, this one's starting to bounce back, getting some thicker greenery. Chives are something you definitely want to companion plant. I've got some in my tomatoes, I'll show you later, that are thriving. Same thing. So this arrangement, this companion planting doesn't work. I did, however, throw in a couple of seeds of the marigold in those 2 containers, as just to see what happens when the companion plant pops through. And same in here. I put some leaf mulch in. You can see this end is a bit touch and go. Most of them are laying down on the ground. In here, I've put that baby tomato that was inside. It's been outside here for about 3 weeks. So just waiting for it to get a little more health. Now it is looking greener because it looked like it was ready to die off, and then I put it out here and it seems to be doing okay. Now these ones, I put in the shade and mulched, and they're nice and green. They're cos lettuces. Blueberry, I'm having a bit of trouble with it. If I water it too much, it seems to have its leaves drop off. Yeah, I'm still learning blueberry on how to maintain it. And these were my native trees that I got from council, and this one was almost dying off. So what I've done is I've opened up the bags. It looks a bit bulky at the moment, and I've put some compost in just to spring this back to life, because this one almost died on me. I want them to live. This one was already doing vibrantly. It's nice and green, it's flowering. It's got a very sweet smelling flower. It's quite pretty. This one, yeah, it needs to be a companion plant. It doesn't seem to like being on its own, keeps dying back a bit. And my passion fruit, It's a ton of new foliage. Almost looks like it's getting ready to flower and shoot. So that's going to grow faster than anything. And this was the snow pea. Now I've broken off the bit that was dying and I've put it back in like mulching, but this is green and actually quite strong at the base. So yeah, looks like it's going to bounce back. That's interesting. These are the garlics are starting to die off as well, so they're getting ready to be harvested. Don't know. I'm waiting to see if they produce that flower bulb that they're meant to. This here feels thick, but yeah, because I know they haven't got bulbs formed, so maybe I planted them too late. Probably has a lot to do with the season that I planted them. And here, snow pea was getting a bit yellow and a bit fragile. I noticed, now a lot of people, I know you fertilize it. I didn't fertilize it. All I did was add some compost dirt. So the bags of the compost that I use as potting mix. It's not a nutrient rich one, by the way. It's an earth care one. So I think it's probably like made from all kinds of waste that they don't normally put in the other commercial ones. Anyway, all I did was top it back up because I noticed the dirt level actually sunk down, and look at, I see this camera's not even doing justice with how green this is. It's so bright. So this side here is a very dense green, like compared to everywhere else. Anyway, these little babies are getting ready to pop out. I'm waiting for it to just ripen on its own. When the seeds are ready, I will plant them in that big pot that I was talking about in previous videos. Just think, I haven't even finished this tour. Tour of the garden. Yep, so yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. The cabbages. That's a cabbage and it's sprung up as two, so it seems to like the mulch. Again, broccoli doesn't seem to like the mulch. This one here is probably a testament to it. I've put the kale in a mulch, so it's being attacked a bit. I can never find the bug that's eating it too. It's not a, it doesn't appear to be getting eaten by caterpillars, or they eat it and then they move on. Must be too rich or too dense. Anyway, this broccoli is my biggest. It's thriving. You notice it's just got a bit of leaf coverage, but mostly it's not mulched like that, so maybe it doesn't like heavy mulching. And companion planting. Now this is what I was saying about the chives. All this thick greenery in here is chives, and look at how healthy it is. Like a ton of it back there. Fresh chives. And some other companion plant that I did not plant. This flower thing. No idea. It's just popped up on its own. And I've already picked some tomatoes off it already, because like I said, it's fruiting. It's been fruiting all throughout the winter time. Probably got 1, 2 a week. But you'll notice that there's a whole bunch of flowers and new tomatoes like cropping up. So whoever said that you're meant to tie them up, I don't think you're meant to, because look at my tomatoes. They like to droop all the way down to the ground. So I've just used that pot to prop it up, and like it's fruiting. So what they say you should do and what actually the plant wants to do is two different things. Again, another spinach, garlic, potatoes been taken out of that pot. Same thing. Wheat. Seriously, wheat just looks like grass. That was the wheat that I grew. So the wheat we make flour out of. So that's interesting. This here is another apple tree, growing huge. Broccoli again and again, and these are huge. These are big, and that's just some seeds for my guinea pigs, so fresh feed. And last but not least, corn and bush beans. This is the popping corn. They just sprout straight up, commercial packet, no frills. I think it was black and gold. Anyway, that's the tour. Long video. Actually, did forget one last thing. Strawberries. So again, they're healthy, no strawberries on it. Those other strawberries died, so happy growing.